Hey folks, Foggy here. Welcome to day 349 of my year of solo board gaming, considered by many to be ill-advised and stupid. We're taking another crack at one deck dungeon, and I'm going to give it another try here. I've played this game in the past, and I remember when I recorded it for the stream, I wasn't that thrilled with playing it, but I've enjoyed it in the past, and I don't know if it's because I was doing the campaign mode. I couldn't tell you, but we're going to give it another try here today. Um, let's go ahead and get started. We have our rogue, which was randomly selected, and I've already gone through all the startup. So, and this is one of the things that did bug me about the game. You lose 5 for Dragon's Cave right from the start. Spend one extra 5 spend an extra 5 turns before your first turn on each floor. So then you actually do your turn, which requires 2 more cards to go away. You set these out, and then you get rid of 2 more cards for your second turn because you don't do anything on your first turn. And I feel like in the setup for this, it probably should have just been like discard 4 cards, put 4 cards out, start your first turn, or discard 2, put 4 cards out, and then start your first turn, like something like that. Because implying that this is a turn just feels there's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with feeling like, well, I had a choice there for what I was going to do. This 5 thing is really nasty. It's supposed to be the easy one. But let's go ahead and explore. We're going to flip over a card. It doesn't really matter which one. And we've got an arrow wall. So we can do one of two things. We can either encounter this or we can flee it. And if we flee it, basically we'll then come back, do another turn, choose another card. We can either do the magic shield or we can push through. For the magic shield, I'd have to use blue magic dice, and I've only got 2 of those. In addition, whichever trap I'm doing, I also have to get this 2 armor over here, and that can be with any dice. Over here, the rush through, I have 11 that I need to get, but I also have 4 energy dice, so that might actually be not a bad idea. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And before I do the roll, I'm debating whether or not to do the heroic feat. So the heroic feat for the rogue is roll 1 black dice or 2 black dice. If either is a 1, you lose health and time. Do this before you're checking out any other effort. So, and that's basically just a way to help improve how many dice you have. Now, the odds of rolling a 1 in 1 dice is 16%. The odds of rolling it on 2 dice and just either coming up with a 1, I believe, are 11 out of 36, so it's better than a 1 in 3 chance. So we're going to go ahead and roll 1 dice, and it's a 1. So that's good. That's right from the get-go. We're going to lose 1 health, and then we're going to roll the black dice, the red dice. All right, so that will cover the trap, and that will cover the heroic die or the armor, and the heroic dice did nothing for me. Hoorah. So we can take this as loot. We have a couple options here. We can either get 1 sword for fighting. We can get 2 experience for leveling up. Or we can do a skill down here. Prevent. It is use 1 energy dice to prevent 1 damage. We're going to go ahead and take this as a skill. Now the thing is I can only have 1 item, not skill. I can only have 1 item. So right now I've got a sword, and that's it. Until I reach level 2, I can't add any more cards over here. So let's start the next turn. We're going to lose 2 here. Galloping Ooze. All right, so this is a fight that will get us some magic, should we take it. It'll also get us 3 experience, and we also can use a sword to gain a 6 heroic dice, and we may only use it to cover a box with a shield on it. All right, so the shields we have to cover first. And the thing is, do we want to try this? We don't have a whole lot of dice to cover these with. None of these are magic, or none of these are stealth, so all of these are just designed for us to not be able to do anything about. Now, I can take, at any point, 2 of the red dice and turn it into a heroic dice. And that'll allow me to cover up even more. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flee. And when fleeing, the rogue gets to add one more door to the dungeon, provided it does not go over the limit. So we're going to add 1 more dungeon door. So let's go ahead and put these into discard. And we'll flip this. We have another trap. This is actually a good one. This looks like this is going to give us a lot of energy. But we have two choices here. We can either climb around, which is going to take up 3 extra energy, 3 extra time, or we can go through magic, and we need a 14 magic, which we're not going to be able to do with that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to climb around, which means that we're going to burn 3 of these. We will try our heroic die again. It's a 6. That's good. That's going to be really helpful. And then we'll roll the 4 red. And didn't even need that heroic dice. I don't know if I can keep the heroic dice. I might want to. That 10 is looking pretty tasty. I hate that term in gaming. Does not look like it. It does not look like I get to keep it. But I do successfully complete this, and complete this pretty easily. So with this, what I can do is I can take this as a skill, and for this skill I can exchange a blue 6 for 2 yellow 6s, which is really, really powerful. I can also, if I did not already have an item, I could gain a sword and a heart, which would also be very helpful. We're going to instead convert this into energy, into experience, I'm sorry. And that gives us 4 for our 6. So now we're going to spend 2 more time exploring the dungeon. Let's go explore this one. It's another trap. It's a rune puzzle. I feel like I want to go ahead and try it. We are going to roll our heroic dice. We got a 3. We only have 2 blue to work with. We also have to cover up that 2 armor. But fortunately, we're able to do it pretty easily. That'll go there, and that'll go there. Now, I forgot that at the beginning of this, because I'm choosing the Decipher It option, we have to get rid of 2 of these. And then we'll go ahead and we'll level up. So when we level up, we get rid of the 2 cards. They go completely out of the way. They don't go back into the discard at all. I think I was not supposed to be rolling black dice at all. I could be wrong about that. No, as far as I can tell, sorry for the long pause there. As far as I can tell, I mean, that's just simply an encounter bonus. So when we encounter, we can roll 1 extra black dice now for being level 2. Okay, so I think I may have made a mistake there, or may have misunderstood what that was trying to get at. But that's good. That means we're going to have an extra black dice for encounters. Speaking of which, let's go on to the next turn. We're going to get rid of 2 of these. We're going to flip this. And we have a Wraith. So the problem is that with the Wraith, I don't have very good combat. I only have the 2 magic and the 2 attack. So I would probably end up taking a lot of damage. I would have the 1 heroic dice to work with. I think we're going to have to try to attack. So first I'm going to go ahead and roll a heroic dice for my heroic feat. It's a 5, that's good. That'll count towards everything else. And then we're going to assemble 2 blue, 2 yellow, 1 heroic, and 4 red. The reds don't do anything here. It's kind of surprising. But I think it's because it's a magical entity. So we have to first cover the armors. So for the armors, that has to be a 5 attack, which we have. Then we also need a 9 there. We can do that with the 4 and the 9 here to cover that up. will then cover this last of the four, or the last of the blues. We have this that we can use to cover that right there. And then we need some way to cover those remaining items. And I think what we're going to do is we can exchange 2 reds for, like we can exchange this for 1 black dice that has a 3 on it. You basically have to go with the lower one. So this would then become a 1, which is not very useful at all. And so the question is, do I want to lose the health or do I want to lose the time? And I feel like I want to lose the health. The health is easier to regain. But that is going to then complete that. However, I forgot to take into account the drain. Grr. So we did lose this. So I probably should not have rolled that yellow dice. Let's redo this. We had a 5 here, I think. So we're going to have just the 1 yellow. Let's try this again. Okay, was this just worse? 6 and 3 will cover that. 5, I'll need something to help cover that. These I can combine. Trying to figure out how much else I can cover here. The problem is this 1 is just garbage. So we'll use that there. We'll combine these 2 to make a 1. And the reason that we're going to do that is we're going to use the 5 and the 1 to cover this last of the blues. With this, I can cover up 1 more spot. I can cover up any spot. So I'll cover that up. We've already taken that 1 damage. That was from before. Let's go ahead and take it all as damage. We'll get rid of the 3 there, and we'll take 4 damage, which is almost going to kill us, but not quite. We'll heal at the beginning of the next turn. And then we gain this. Let's go ahead and just gain it as experience. And I know what you're saying. You really need to gain some health. All right, so start of the next turn, we're going to go ahead and use a potion to get rid of 3 of these. And then we're going to flip a bunch of flip 2 cards here, flip a bunch of cards here. That's our turn, so then we burn 2 more cards. We're almost at the end of the dungeon. And then we're going to check to see what's next. We have no items, no skills. We've got lots of experience. It's a fight. So X equals 4 per open door, including this one. So we've got a lot of, it's going to be 8 for that nasty item there. But this does require a lot of dexterity, which is in our wheelhouse. So let's go ahead and first roll heroic dice for our heroic feat. We got a 3. And then let's assemble our dice pool. Okay. So we need 8 to cover that, which we can get. That is going to use up a lot of those dice. We can do a 3 here. Do a 5 here. This actually converts to a 5 as well. And that just leaves the 2, which we can't do anything with. So we are going to take 2 damage plus 1 time. But we do gain this. For this, we can exchange a 2 magic for a 5 magic. We can also gain 1 dexterity and gain 2 more experience. We're going to go ahead and do the skill on this one. Because basically it's like saying we're going to boost up. Burn 2 more health. Or 2 more time, I mean. We're going to use up a potion. So I can get back to full health. And then explore. It's a trap. We have run past it. And this would be very helpful to have. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and roll heroic dice. It's a 3. We're going to have 4 dexterity and 1 question is, can they do it? Can they do it? We'll go ahead and cover the armor up first. And the rest of this has to equal 14. Which, yeah, we did it. We didn't even need this. We managed to run past the boulder. We're going to go ahead and add this to our items so that we have some extra. We can come out swinging a little bit harder. We're going to burn 2 more time and encounter this. It's a pit of spikes. And once again, we're gonna encounter this. We're gonna jump over it. Let's first of all do our heroic feat. It's a 2. We're going to assemble our dice pool, which is just the pink. All right, we'll use the 2 here to cover that, and then we have to have 14, and we have 14 even without the extra black dice. We're going to take this, and we can either put this towards experience, which means that we would go up 1 more, which would be nice. We could also do armor crush, which means we basically trade in a yellow dice for a heroic 6, which we can then use to cover any armor, which is kind of huge. I think that we're going to go ahead and just trade this out for the experience. So that's 8 experience. We've managed to go up yet another level. So let's bring out level 6. We have, unfortunately, still just the one black dice there, but we do get 1 more potion. All right, so we're going to burn 2 more turns. And we could choose to descend immediately, and I think that's what we're going to do. And I forget when we descend if we have to get rid of that open door that's there. I don't think so. I think that gelatinous cube just still stays there. I could be wrong. So what does happen, though, is that this is going to come down now by 1. That means that every trap we have to roll a 2 and a 6 to help deal with the armor and some additional health loss. And then for the for combat, we need a 5 magic and a 3 attack for fights. And then because this is the start of the turn, you also have to burn 5 cards. All right. We're also going to burn 2 more so we can fill up the dungeon. And we'll place the rest of these on here. Burn 2 more cards. And we're going to encounter. It is a bandit. So dodge is a lot more difficult because of the nature of the bandit. We have to use 3 dice to make a heroic dice instead of 2. But this also does feel very in line with our character and being able to fight it. So we're going to fight. We're going to get, let's do the heroic dice first. It's a 4. We're going to take 2 yellow, 4 blue, 4 red, 2 blue. I know what words are. And then 1 heroic. And there goes one of the black dice. Which we'll get later. All right. Oh, this is not looking good at all. Look at those ones. So first of all, let's do... There's none of these are armor, so we don't have to worry about covering any of those. We'll use this to cover that. And we'll use this to cover that. We can use the 5 here. I think we might be screwed otherwise. I can use this to cover that, and I can use this to cover that. So that is going to cover everything. So I can choose this 5 to cover either 2 time or 1 time 1 health. We'll cover 1 time 1 health. So we're going to lose 1 time. We're going to lose 1 health. But other than that, we have defeated the bandit. All right, that can either give us one more blue, which is kind of strange for a bandit. We can get this backstab, which I think we're definitely going to do. The backstab allows us to take 1 blue dice, or 1 red dice, and roll to attack. So that is huge. We can only do that once per turn, but that still feels really helpful. So our next turn, we're going to burn 2 more cards. We're going to encounter. It's another trap. We're going to dodge them. Let's first of all get a heroic dice check. It's a 1, so we're going to lose 3 time. And 1 health. That's not good. And then we're going to assemble, so that's going to be 4 red, 1 blue, oh, sorry, 1 black. We have to get 14, and then we also have to cover the 2 things over there. All right, so not too bad. We can cover this, and we can cover the, we have to use that for that first, because that's armor. And that's not quite enough, unfortunately, to deal with all of it. Is there any way that I can do this so it does cover all of it? Yeah, we'll cover the 2 there. We'll cover the 6 there. And this is going to leave 16 to cover the trap. Yeah, there we go. So I can either take this as an attack. I can use to convert a 3 magic into 2 dexterity, or I can take 3 more magic, or 3 more experience. And I think I'm taking this for the attack, mostly because I need to start thinking about skills as opposed to leveling up. For those of you who do board gaming, do you find that there's a specific surface that works a little bit better for putting cards? Like, I think because the top of this is so solid, and because of the type of the material it is, I can't quite get that to work right. These all come back here. Oh, I forgot I had the 1 here that was doing nothing. Okay. So then we're going to encounter. All right, Phantom. This is looking pretty nasty. But I think I'm going to go for it. I think because I can take one of my reds and turn it into 2 attacks, that might be helpful. So we're going to get 1. First, let's do a heroic roll. It's a 2. We're going to get 1 black, 2 blue, 4 red, and 3 yellow. And then we immediately discard all 1s and 3s rolls. So we lose that, that. All get discarded. All right. So now armor, I do have a 4 and a 4. So fortunately I have dice that can take care of that. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and use this here so I can cover the 5 there, and then the 6 here, and the 5 here. This 6 will cover over here, and that'll leave, oof, that is going to hurt. That is going to hurt a lot. Basically, because I don't have enough dice other than that, yeah, I don't think there's any way for me to cover any more dice. All right, is there a better one for me to take other than the ones that I have showing? And I don't think that there is. So essentially I'm taking 3 damage. Is almost all of it. I have 1 more damage that I can take before I die. I will gain this. I can still gain 1 more item, and I'm going to go ahead and gain that as an item so that I have that to work with. I think I might have forgotten that I can actually do things. Yeah, I definitely forgot, because I could have taken that blue too. and converted it into a 5 blue. And that would have helped quite a bit. All right. Let's get rid of these. I had options. All right, so we're going to do 2 turns, and then we're going to repopulate the dungeon. And then 2 more turns. 2 more energy. Oh, this should not be. We're not to that point yet. All right. So let's encounter. And it's a beetle. If any armor boxes are empty, discard this card instead of looting. Fortunately, this seems like a pretty easy card for us to get. So let's... Oh, I forgot to use the potion to get rid of 3 damage. I don't like the fact that we only have 1 potion left. So for this, let's do our heroic. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, so we have 1 of these. We have 4 yellows, 4 reds, and 2 blues. All right, let's cover up some crap here. So first of all, we're going to go for the 5 here and the 6 here. That's just going to cover up the magic portions of it. For the reds, we can cover up the 4 there, the 4 there, and we'll combine these to make that 3. We're then finally stuck with a 5 and a 6, so we'll cover that 6, and this will cover the 5. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And we do not want to take this for accuracy. I don't even want to take it for blue. Let's go ahead and put this towards experience. I think that's probably our best bet. All right, 2 more turns. We'll check this out. We're also going to go ahead and use the energy, last potion, for more healing. We've got traps. We can take some extra time, or we can just run through them. We're going to run through them because I think overall we're pretty good as far as that goes. So we're just rolling dexterity and heroic. Yeah, and we have to get 2 and 6 there. So let's just use the 4 and the 6. And then we have to cover, we have 13 to cover that, so that's good. So we can either grab the blue, which would be helpful because we don't have any magic really. And I know I probably should have said that about this last one. Let's go ahead and get the blue. We don't want to bother taking the skill because it requires us to have some potions, and the way that we're guzzling our potions, it's not good. But there we go. All right, 2 more. Let's encounter. All right, we've got runes and we've got destroy it. We're going to go the destroyer route. We may as well because we're actually doing pretty well in terms of that. Heroic feat. It's a 3, and then because we've got 4 yellows, which is as many dexterities as we have, as many pinks. All right, it is a trap though, so we do have to cover the 2 additional items up here. One of which will be the 3, the other of which will be these 2, and then that gives us 12. We just barely destroy it, but we do destroy it. So persistence allows us to convert 2 yellows to a yellow and a black. We could gain 1 dexterity. We have no dexterity right now. I feel like it's better that I go... We have room for 2 more skills and 1 more item. I'm going to go for the item because right now I have nothing in terms of dexterity boosters. But that'll be our last item. We can't get any more items. So we do 2 more cards, and once again we're at the bottom of the dungeon. We're going to go ahead and encounter this. I want to clear this out of here. So what we do is when visible, place a damage token for each time spent. We've not spent any additional time. So this is, we did the 2 times. We haven't spent any additional time. But we might end up spending a fair amount of time with this split if we roll a lot of ones. But let's go ahead and roll, first of all, for the heroic feat. It's a 6. We're going to put together our dice here. It's going to be 5 red now. It's going to be 2, 3 blue, and a bunch of yellows. And this could be very deadly based on the number of ones that come up. All right, so we do have 1/1. So we will gain some damage there on the stairs. Now that only counts if we get up to 3 damage. If we get up to 3 damage, then yes, we're probably going to end up getting hurt no matter what because... Oh no, we can do this at the end of the turn. We can do this at the end of the turn. We can descend. So we'll descend at the end of the turn. That'll avoid that. All right, so let's start figuring out where we need to start covering up things. Let's do the 3 over here because that's exact. We'll do the 6 over here because that's, even though that's inexact. We've got a 2, 4, and 6 to cover the blues. We've got a 6, a 4, and then we can take these 2 reds, make them a blue, make them a black dice, and boom, we're covered. So that completes that. That's going to get us 3 here. We can take this as a skill for one yellow. I can convert it to a 6 heroic, and we're going to do that. That's going to be very helpful. Can only be used on armor, but I'm pretty sure that that's going to come in handy. All right, so now we descend. And again, we're not actually spending the time here, so we don't have to worry about that. We're just descending. So right now we have 3 skills. We have 5 items. We can gain 1 more item. I think we do actually want to get to level 4 before we reach the bottom of the dungeon. For each turn here now, we're going to have that additional 10 on the fighting. That's going to be nasty. So we're going to burn 2 turns. We're going to put out a dungeon. And this is our first turn on the door, on the floor. So we're going to get rid of 5 more turns. And then 2 more to explore. Again, it just feels like you're burning a lot of cards. So we have a fight with a beetle. Let's go for it. Let's try fighting it. Let's do, first of all, do a heroic. 2. We're going to gain 1 heroic dice for the level that we're on. 5 reds. 4 yellows. 3 blues. And now we've also got some options too. Okay. So, not looking good here. Let's start with, we're going to take these 1s, and I'm going to count this as a blue 2. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but if that's the case, then this will allow me to gain a 5. And I can use that 5 there. In addition, I'm going to take this 1, and we'll use this to cover this part of the dice. And that's going to allow us to gain a 6, which we can put on the armor, along with this 3, along with this 4. We have a 3 here that'll cover that. The 6 is going to cover that 3. Looking at the dice that we have available, we got 4, 4, 6, 4 and 2, 5. And that'll do it. That'll cover everything. All right. Sorry, I think my phone just rang. All right. I'm going to have to wrap this up soon. So we gain this, and the question is, do we want to gain it as an experience or as a skill? I want to gain this as a skill because this allows us to convert a yellow into a 6. I don't even think you can see that, so let's slide all this up a little bit. let's clear all this. I'm going to burn 2 more cards and another experience. Pit of Spikes. All right, so this is in our bailiwick. We're going to get 5 of these. We'll do the 1 heroic. 5, good. And then we have 1 more black dice as part of this. We have to get 14. Not going to be easy because we also have all of this to cover as well. So let's do the 5 here. We had 1 thing for stealth. It was a... Oh, crud. That 2 was only supposed to be convertible to a 5. Oh, no. It's for both. Never mind. Never mind. I'm just talking to myself. So that 5's covered there. That 6 is covered there. That 2 is covered there. So those are all covered now. We have 14 left over. So there we go. 14. We got it. We're going to take this and we're going to convert this to experience. That'll put us up to 5 experience. We still need 2 more cards there. 2 more turns. It's a cavern. And I think once again we're going to go and we're just going to encounter this as is. Sorry, that's the wrong dice. 6, that's good. And then we do our roll. It's not looking good. But let's cover the 6 there. Let's cover the 2 there. Let's cover the 6 there. That's going to leave us a total of 11 exactly. Which is exactly what we need to climb over it. So we've climbed over it, and we are again going to convert this into experience. We're at 8 experience. We need 1 more to level up. 2 more cards. And we're going to encounter the last card here. It's an Ice Elemental. Oh my lord. Before the encounter spend, we are going to flee, which means that we are allowed to bring out an extra dungeon card. Burn 2 more turns. Bandit. We're definitely going to fight the bandit. So let's roll our heroic. It's a 6. We're then going to assemble our dice pool. Yeah, that goes back here. 4 of these, 2 of these. 3 of these, actually. All right, so let's start with the fighting side of this. First of all, we can use any of our yellows to make a 6 that is usable for usable with armor. So we will go ahead and do that since we have 1 thing on here that's armor. And we'll combine that with a 4 to knock that out. We need a 5 for this over here. And since all our blues are looking pretty crappy, we'll just go ahead and do that. We need a 3 for the weapon side of it, things, so we'll put that there. Now, we need a bunch of dice here, and we still are pretty short, so 4. Let's do this for the 8. Let's do this for the 3. We have this for the 5, and we'll use this 2 to roll 2 yellow dice. 6 and 4, even if we couldn't do it, we were going to use one of these to then gain a 6 fighting. So that's it. We have managed to defeat the bandit, and we will convert that to experience, which means we are now at level 4. Hurrah! We can now have 7 items, 5 skills. We are getting 2 black dice each turn. We can then convert 5 experience to a potion, but we do get 1 more potion. So our goal now is basically we're going to continue downward, and I think we're going to try to gain as many potions as we can. We have to then add all of these. 2 more turns. We're only going to have like 1 more turn here. So let's encounter this. It's a locked door. We are going to go ahead and bash it open for 4. We're going to roll 1 heroic dice. Roll another one like that. The problem is that we have so many extra things that we have to cover now. But let's see how well we do. We have a 6 here to cover that. We have a 2 to cover that. And we have a 5 to cover that. We then have an additional 13 in dice. So we do manage to bash it open. So that's going to gain us either 1 extra yellow, or it's going to gain us 2 experience, which is not enough to get a new potion. We could gain this as a skill. It would allow us to turn a 3 into a heroic dice, but I'm not entirely convinced that that's a good thing. So we're going to burn 2 more time here. And then we're going to encounter 1. It's a goblin. X equals 4 per open door, including this one, so X is 8. We're going to try to beat the crap out of this. It's a 6. We're going to gain 5 yellow. 5 of those. 2 of those. 3 of those, actually. And then 2 black dice. And these can come off here. There we go. Lots and lots of dice. All right, let's start with converting this 2 to a 6. That can only be used for armor. That's going to have to pair with a 4, which I don't have, unfortunately. That's an 8. So is there something I can do there? Let's first of all, let's get these 2 4s covered. I'm probably spending way too much time thinking about this, given that I can probably just cover everything really easily. In fact, there's all that. There's all that. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm bothering figuring out the complex math of this. We have enough dice to easily cover the goblin. The goblin now becomes part of our army. So the question is, do we want the 3... same thing as with before. I don't feel like converting a 3 to a black dice is necessarily helpful, especially given how few blue dice that we have. But I do feel like we're currently at 6 items. I would prefer to have a blue in here, 1 more blue, but I don't think I'm going to have any luxury on that, because either I take the damage by going 1 more turn, and it will be 1 more damage. So I think I'm going to take this as 1 more sword. And then we're going to descend. So we descend at the start of the turn, at the end of the turn, so we don't do anything there. We're now on to the boss fight. And there we go. We'll go ahead and remove all these. All right. The boss fight is like a combat encounter fought over multiple rounds. In each round, roll dice, use skill potions and place dice, suffer consequences, strike the boss, 1 damage per skull, new round. Heroic feats cannot be used in the boss fight. Your experience levels encounter bonus provides dice during each round. So we do not have heroic dice, unfortunately, to use during this boss round, but we do have... Now, the thing I'm trying to figure out is how much health does this guy have? Like, isn't that an important part of it? We have 3 health. Oh, it's got 6 heart. I'm sorry. So it's 1 damage for each of these skulls, but you need to do 6 damage overall. So those our priority are getting these covered, but this is obviously where we're going to do the most damage. So let's see how this goes. Can't use heroic dice, so those are off the table. We do have the 2 black dice from this. We're going to have a total of 6 yellow, which is actually really good. We have a total of 5 dexterity, total of 3 here. So this is probably going to be the biggest problem, is getting hit there. We'll see how it goes. I have a feeling that I'll be using the 2... convert 1 dexterity to 2 attack pretty commonly. All right. So first things first, can we even cover the 16? If I use all of this, I have 7. I have I have 8. That's 15. I can then combine these two ones to make a black one. And that will cover everything here. All right. I can then use these two dexterities to cover those. And that one. So that'll do 1 damage. I'm going to convert this to... Sadly, that is not going to help that much, but I can use this last one to convert this. Oh yeah, and I'm forgetting something even more important. I can use this 2 to get a 5 that's black. And now I can take these 3 back. I'll take this 3. All right, so I'm turning that 2 to get a 6. And I'm turning that in to roll 2 more dice. All right, that's good. That's my 17 right there. This is... Is there anything else I can do? I don't think there is, unfortunately. There is something else I can do. I can use this 2 to convert it to a black 6, and take that and cover up one of these. Does that help? Yes, because I can use the 4-2 to cover that. I can convert these to another heroic dice, this time a 3. My heroic 3 goes along with this last of the blues over here, and I have covered each square on the dragon, thankfully. So that is going to do 3 damage to the dragon. It's halfway to dead. All right, let's do this again. We suffered no damage on that. That is amazing. So we're going to get 2 heroic. We're going to get 5 dexterity. We're going to get 6 attack. And 3 magic. Pull out all the rest of it. All right, let's figure out what we got here. So first up, we have this over here. We have a total of 15 that we can apply to it. And I don't think there's much else we can do. I would love it if I could convert something else there. Let's first of all apply this to this 6, and then we can convert 1 yellow dice to a 6 that is usable on armor. That's first and foremost. We'll convert this to 2 more yellows. And we'll use that to convert one of these to a 6. A 6 yellow, which we're going to have to... I'm going to just indicate that I've used that because I don't have enough dice to cover it otherwise. All right. So now this is covering the 17. This is covering the 6. The question is, can we get the rest of this? And I think we can. So we have 15, 17. Let's do that. We're going to convert these 2 4s into a black 4. And then that will cover the remainder. That will cover the dragon completely, and we have defeated the dragon in 2 rounds, which is the fastest we can possibly do it. And I feel like I actually played the game correctly this time. So my apologies to Asmati Games, by the way, for the first iteration of this. This probably did not look as good as it should have. Also, we're at 50 minutes, which is a long freaking time. So I had a lot more fun this time. This felt like I was actually making some progress. I'm going to have to go back and look at the other video and see what I did wrong. This reminds me of why I did actually like the game the first time I played it. Not on screen, but in real life. you do have that sort of like building up element to it. And I've done an entire campaign, so I'm not I'm surprised how poorly the last one went. I don't know if it was just bad luck or if it was just bad gameplay on my part. There's a lot to remember with this game, and I think that's one of the issues I have with it, is that there's so much to remember, and I really do not like. I understand it's part of the game. There's nothing I can do about it. I really don't like the sheer number of cards you bundle. But my guess is that the feeling is that, you know what, it's a limited number of cards. You're going to see all these cards eventually over the course of time. Strangely enough, I picked the character at random. Last time I played this, when I did the campaign, I did a rogue as well. So I may come back and for tomorrow do one more iteration of this with a different monster. And I think probably one of these 4 I'll do. I'm not going to do this two-handed. I don't like playing two-handed wherever possible. And since this has a one-player version, that's what we go with. Folks, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again tomorrow.